Hi, I'm Zach from Corexcell, and what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to fix your glutes, okay? How to make your glutes healthy. So if you're dealing with piriformis pain, IT band pain, low back pain, knee problems, okay? All these stem from the glutes. And what we're going to show you is the basic foundation exercise that we use in order to fix the glutes to make them healthy so that you can get rid of these problems. Then once your glutes are healthy, we're going to show you the different exercises we use from a sports training standpoint in order to make athletes faster and stronger, and also from a fitness standpoint, just to really shape your glutes and make them look good. Just tell me about your injury a little bit, and then how I was able to help you.
So basically, I came to you exactly a year ago because I was having an injury that I'd had before. So this time, the surgeon said I had a labral tear, and so I said, "Well, I want to go to physical therapy." He says, "Well, that's not going to help." And I said, "Well, I want to go anyway." And then I went to my physical therapist locally, who is very good and has helped me with other things. And she says, "Well, we can't really help you with this." And at the same time, I started with you. And like within 6 weeks, the whole problem was gone. I found you online, and I immediately knew that you could tell you had a wisdom most people weren't teaching.
So this is the first exercise in our system, okay? And I tried so many, different flipping exercises, all different ways, like you've seen online, okay, ball here, or whatever. And every time I do it, I get a little glute, but mostly I get my TFL. And the reason is because I had to develop my medius first, get that strong before I went in to get the minimus, okay? So this exercise is specifically designed to target the glute medius. It is not the main corrective exercise, it's just to get the glute to function correctly, so then I can start going in and develop the medial rotation.
So you're going to feel this exercise like right in through here, okay? Kind of like a half moon shape, okay? Right in through there, here. If you start feeling it here into the front of the hip, or like right into the side here of the hip, it's your TFL, that means you're doing the exercise incorrectly.
And all we're going to do is we're going to bend our legs back just a little bit like that. We're going to put our foot here. We're going to put basically our ankle right on top of the knee here. We're going to lift our knee just so it's a little bit above the hip line. And then all we're doing is just extending. I'm kicking out just at 45 degrees. Okay, I'm not going and kicking down this way. I'm also not kicking way out here, just kicking right down at 45 degrees, just like that. And we're keeping our foot at the same angle as the knee. Look, see how it's on this plane, on that angle here? It's not like this and turned down, it's right here. That's the key. What you don't want to do when you do this is you don't want to turn down, because then you're going to get a lot of TFL. This is just purely adduction with hip extension. So we're moving it just like this. That's it. It's that simple of an exercise here. And the other thing is you don't want to have your hips moving too far back or too far forward. Pretend there's a wall here and my hip doesn't move. That's why I put my hand right here. See, everything stays square here when I'm doing this. I'm not rotating over when I'm doing it. I'm not rotating back. So here's the next exercise. Okay, we're going to put 5 pounds on here. What he's going to do is, now this is medius and minimus because we're internally rotating. So now we are going to be flipping, okay? But the whole key to this one is he's going to, if this is 90 degrees here, we're going to move it a little bit down from 90. And now he's going to drop, and then he's going to come up. Yep, drop and come up without this knee basically dropping. So that's what we're trying to achieve and do with this. And this is just all medial rotation. And when he started, where were you when you started? He was like this. He could barely drop. And that's okay. So this is where he had to develop it to. Then as he got better, we're trying to look at that 45-degree angle, and then we're going up. But this is where you want to be. You want those hips totally square. And now he's got it. I'm just going to show you me because, like I talked about how bad I was. I want you to understand, we have an app, so if you go into the app, you're going to be able to see these in details of really how to do it and execute it properly and the different levels and tests. So when I started, I was like this. Like I couldn't even get down, okay? That's why I had to do the side kick first to really get into it. But now look at how it drops. It's a joke, okay? This is how loose that you want to get. And what this does is, on my right side, I could never do this. Now it's a joke, okay? Same thing. It helps you open that pigeon stretch up to really be able to stretch. So this is exercise designed more for the outside of the medius. You are going to get some glute max as well. So if you notice, The first one that we did, the side kick, is glute medius dominant to get it active. The next one involves the glute medius and minimus because you're doing internal rotation. I have other videos that have talked a lot about that. And this one is basically designed to really open up the hips. So if he's doing a sumo deadlift, or he's doing a wider squat, or like we're going to show you, this transitioned into another sports training exercise, which is called the barbell wide thrust. And what you want to do is you want to get on your heels with this technique, okay? And all he's going to do is just drop down, and then he's going to push his hips open. Now he's way wide, okay? Go ahead and drop down and up. All right, he's really focused on pushing out. He's not trying to get his hips way up in the air. He's focused on pushing out. The reason we go on the heels here is so that the foot can rotate with the knee and you can open up more. If you go flat, go ahead, put your foot flat on the ground and move them back underneath you. This isn't bad, but what happens is the foot get locked and you can't immediately rotate. When he started, he could only get to here. All right, down and up. So you can go very narrow. The goal is you want to feel it in the glute. If you feel your TFL, okay, then you know you're doing it wrong. And you know it's too much tension. And again, this is all in the app. We're just giving you, just some ideas of our whole system of how it works. See how he's not coming up that high. He's focused on pushing out, not up. If you go too high, go ahead, come up high. Now your knees can't push out. You lose the abduction, okay? So he's got to be focused on pushing out, not up. So now, that exercise you just saw, it transitioned. This is our sports training exercise. This is how, if you're a female or if you're an athlete and you're trying to form those glutes, you want them, nice shape to them, but also you want to get explosive. This is how we do a glute bridge. So again, we're not going to transition into this exercise until they pass all the tests with the other 3 exercises that you just saw. They get those glutes, everything functioning correctly. In the app, we have a bunch of testing on how to test and how to do it. And now he's ready for something like this. So now with this one, the feet are going to be flat. You don't want to be up on your heels. Now your hips are really open from the other exercise. And now he's just going to come up and he's just pushing his feet out and his knees out. And he's opening his hips and he's thrusting. That's a regular glute bridge. Now you're not getting the medius. That's why we go wide. So go wide and watch. He comes out, he pushes his knees out, and then that really gets the medius to activate. So he's really working the outside of the butt. You can feel that piece of the medius there on the outside. See how he's not coming up all the way. He's only going out where he can really push his knees out. That's where the hips stop.
So that's why we keep our hips right below that knee height. And that's where you really get that maximal contraction of the glute.
So here's the problem with regular RDLs. And so we have a 4-inch lift. Most people put it on a big high box, okay, or they'll do it where they just stand up and they go like this. This really is how you get into the side of this glute here. So he's only feeling it here. If you feel it up high, okay, or down the side here of the TFL, you're doing it wrong. You only want to feel it right here, okay? And this takes the most to get to the level where you can actually use your glute on this exercise. That's why you have to use all those other exercises we saw to get it healthy so you can actually go in and do this. This one is just such a valuable exercise. I'm going to let him explain the technique now to you and what he's doing.
So you'll notice with my setup here, my front leg is slightly turned in, okay? Say this is perfectly straight, slightly turned in, and my knee is tracking towards the outer half of my foot. You don't want to let your knee cave in. That's no good. You want to have that support with your glute. So in order to do that, you got to have your knee tracking out. And you'll notice my back leg, I'm not split wide here. And just go down and let your shoulders kind of round forward and feel your glute kind of holding you up from this position. Right here, if you hold it for a good 10 seconds, you'll feel that side of your glute start to activate. All you're going to do from here is you're going to come up a quarter of the way without moving your knee angle. So you notice my knee isn't moving forward and my knee is not moving backward. I'm just sitting my hips back without moving my knee.
Now he's a 400-pound squatter, okay? Guess what? He had to start with this bar here in order for him to feel his glute properly. And he's getting killed.
And I just did probably 30 reps with no weight, and it's pretty intense. And that's my strong side.
So he built this up to 25 pounds in each hand, and all he felt was the glute, no TFL. If he would go with weight, he would feel it on the side of his hip. So we had to start with him with a pole and build him up to that point. And that's what you guys have to understand with all these exercises. Everyone, sends me a message on YouTube and they say, hey, how much weight should I be using? You could use, with all these hip exercises, you could use 20, 30 pounds if you feel it in the right spot. But you want to start with a weight that you only feel in the right spot. So maybe no weight, 2 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds. But that's the key, is to feel it only in the glute. And then you know how to go up in weight. And this is what a lot of bodybuilders, they talk about that too when they're training chest. Like they're only feeling their chest, they're isolating, they're only using a weight. They go too heavy, then they lose that connection to the muscle. And that's what we're trying to do here.